Again.
Again. Yeah.
Except National Weather Service.
They got it wrong again. Oh, it's just gonna be a little nuisance. It's just a little.
No, the National Weather Service predicted it. Because they always work in gradients. They say it could be this between this and this. They don't pin it down and say, oh, it's just going to be nothing. Your window, your back windshield wipers make noise too.
Is it slick? Is it slick? Little.
Yeah. vehicles
I mean,
in this kind of weather, if you don't have good snow tires or chains on your tires or whatever, you're probably, especially pickup trucks, since they're light rear end, worst.
I'm just wondering, you know,
Those
work
BMWs.
will ask everybody to leave early, which is a bad idea. Because
Well,
everybody's
you're not
moving
going to leave
together.
early. Yeah, you're not going to leave early. And yeah, you're right. They did that before. They
Leave
said
early.
everybody leave early, so everybody leaves at once.
If it was me, if it was like this, I would wait till the traffic's gone, and you know, it would be
You're
less.
not leaving early because you had me, unless we trade cars.
No, I mean, if it was day shift.
Yeah. Well. Some of us have jobs where we have to get through. This doesn't look like a very big blob of
Ice, snow. Yeah, I think it's gonna be over with probably a few hours.
who knows, I mean, more than
Well, as I look at the sky, it's like it's really heavy and dense.
they called it.
So maybe there's be more.
That's accurate weather forecasting.
Huh?
That's accurate weather forecasting.
What?
Oh, it looks like it might do something.
Because it's dense.
It's dense.
With the clouds. You know, just like rain, there's like that kind of rain that just keeps on and on the whole day. Like on and on. It just won't stop. It just took forever. It looks like it is that time.
You don't know exactly what it's doing unless you can take some readings on it and get some data. Sometimes it looks worse than it is. Just have low visibility and accumulating snow, but so far it isn't that much snow.
Honey, what was that saying?
I mean, look at the grass that's showing here.
Yeah. What was that saying means? That reason will, what is it? Hinder your, what?
Oh.
The reason, do you know our calendar?
Well, it's the same. It's
What
the
is
same
it?
thing as
What did he say? Reason. I should
if you use reason, you'll be a slave to reason.
Oh, okay. But
You must learn how to master reason.
master reason, what does that mean? Master reason.
Well,
Just,
I don't know. Just kind of the same thing about overthinking things. Your brain being the center of
every,
evil.
oh, yeah. Overthinking, yeah.
Well, not just overthinking, but you know, if a person really wants to, let's say you're working in a company and a boss really doesn't like you and they want to fire you, they'll probably use reason to do it. But there's nothing reasonable about what they're doing or fair. You know, they just don't like you. Like, you know, we were watching a TV show and a woman got fired because she was being sexually harassed by her boss. Well, when she turned down his advances, all of a sudden, within months,
She got
he
fired.
gathered a case file on her that she wasn't working, you know, it was reasonable, and he followed the rules and everything. It's not reasonable.
Oh,
You know, he did what he wanted to do.
okay. That's why lawyers are writing all this.
I don't know about lawyers, because lawyers are some of the worst.
Yeah.
You know,
That's where the
it's like you
reasoning-
go into a court and
That's where
there's
the
a
reasoning comes
a
from.
reasonable argument in court, and there's so many reasonable arguments that make an injustice. You know, you got to come up with a reasonable argument, even though you were completely in the right. You shouldn't even be in court in the first place in many cases, but somebody's figured out a way to get you there. not reasonable at all. They're enslaving everybody to reason. There's more to it than just reason. Because, you know, in reality, what sounds reasonable right now won't be reasonable in the future, because we don't see everything, we don't know everything. Using reason based on what we see and know, well, what we see and know is very limited. You have to account for the fact that we don't see or know everything. Then people would say, well, then what's the, you know, there'd be no law then if you think that way. It's not true.
So to counteract that one is just be humble, I guess.
Well, in every way, every day, every respect.
Yeah.
You're taught to do that.
Like managers say, you do this because it isn't the mandatory that you are. Okay, just be humble and just take it. Alright.
You know,
And
often,
just give them compassion and kindness and say, you know what? I admit I'm really sorry and do it again. You know.
well, you have to also think that they may know things that you don't.
Yeah. So, in other words, in short, it's still humility, humbleness, compassion, kindness.
On all levels. The higher you are, the more humble you need to be.
That's true.
History is littered with the corpses of the victims of the failure to see that. You know, God help us, the last thing this planet needs is another successful person. So many people trying to be successful, but failing to see their original failure.
That black SUV is really very pushy. She's gotta wait another. She's in the fast lane. She was in the fast lane, and now she went really slow. Okay, fast.
Yeah, was she on the phone doing it too?
I don't know. Like overconfidence gets aggressiveness really bad. Like that's why.
It's just a failure.
That's
Don't talk about it. It's just a failure of empathy.
I have coffee today.
Yellow light, yellow light, yellow light. Is everybody getting over? Getting over because they're impatient, or are they getting over because they see something that we don't?
Coming down bad here. Well, the wind is blowing.
It's a pretty heavy snow. The visibility is down. I can see-
What is it?
I can see this traffic light and the next traffic light, but I can't see,
There's
Beyond
just somebody's going slow there.
you know, looks like it.
It's a long line. See? It just goes slow.
Well, everybody's impatient. That
Well,
person probably should be going slow. It's like the line of cars going slow.
just
slick.
That's what I said. It's not even.
I don't know how many times people drive super fast and end up like they can't stop, or they go through these lights. Click. Is that an all-wheel drive? Maybe it must be a front-wheel drive.
It's a Volvo.
Oh yeah, I don't see. Doesn't mean anything. I see a rear differential.
Your Suzuki. Going faster than you're supposed to.
Smell coffee. Coffee being roasted.
Those are all drives.
Four-wheel drive.
Really, they came fast. They said snow in Boston, Massachusetts, 34 inches.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh,
Now, I wonder what this guy is working on.
the light.
Light? Yeah. Apparently.
The light across.
It's because he has to, not because he just had a work order in.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes the logic of this city is we don't do things because the conditions are dangerous or anything. It's like, well, I got a work order, so I gotta go do it. Do some maintenance on that light. I'm like, yeah, you're in. I know you got the blinky lights and everything. It's not the best time to be doing that. Unless, of course, you have to, which I'm assuming he does.
It's really coming down. Now it's big and flakes now, big and flakes.
Big ass flakes.
It's more snow than over in that side. And see, the grass is almost covered here. What do you normally take going to work? The 39th Street?
Yeah.
Or,
The back way.
well, just be
It
careful.
gets pretty slick.
Huh?
That gets pretty slick.
Over there? I know.
Well, it's accumulating pretty good on the streets. Which is pretty sad because it's really not accumulated that great on the grass. Saying this isn't,
So meaning,
so far this isn't really that big of snow.
nobody's really working. Right? Alright.
And it's just like what the Weather Service was sort of calling for, between 1 and 3 inches.
Oh.
But I hear them on the scanner. The Weather Service calls out, at least to the fire department, every day. They give them their prognosis of what to expect.
Yeah. Why fire department?
Because they have to get around choice. If there's a fire, they got to get there. And they also run the ambulances.
They have chains, right?
I don't think they need them. They have the big trucks. They have some sort of system underneath their trucks too, or the ambulances do. These chains that they drag supposedly keeps them on the road too. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, but those.
They say it's amazing.
But those trucks cannot withstand ice. Ice is ice.
Well, it has to be pretty bad. I mean, you have to know that big trucks, 18-wheelers and stuff, they have pretty good traction because they have a lot of weight.
We didn't plow back roads, so be careful. Well,
You know that. I mean,
that's a neighborhood. Here is a commercial road, so maybe you're fine.
well, I don't think they plow the commercial roads that much either. Although I can't see the difference between the two cities here, KCK and KCMO.
Of course, this car has to go fast. It's slow and
Oh yeah, naturally.
crazy. I really think people should just stay for a little bit more. They shouldn't leave right as
That's me slipping on the slush. The old anti-lock brakes. That was brilliant. a badass hill. We could just shut this street off, making it into a sledding hill. It's almost like a ski slope. Way too many cars get stuck at the top of this hill at this light. Can't get started again. Almost all the rear-wheel drive cars can't make it, and quite a few front-wheel drives.